underestimate my power!
I need more power.
What if Darth Vader and Vergil are actually the same character? Not in terms of story, but in what they became. At first they seem completely different. One is a fallen Jedi, the other is a demon hunter. They come from different worlds and completely different narratives. But if you look past all of that and focus on who they are at their core, the similarities start to stand out. Both were extremely talented, both were driven, and both experienced a loss they couldn't truly accept. In this video we're going to take a closer look at two characters, Anakin Skywalker from Star Wars and Vergil from Devil May Cry. In my previous video I talked about the Waterfall Effect, a pattern of final battles in different franchises that take place near waterfalls. While working on that, I noticed something interesting. Anakin and Vergil share a surprising number of parallels, not just in their stories, but in their choices and how those choices shape who they become. So I decided this deserved a full video. Before we dive in, hit subscribe, drop a like, and let's go. These characters grew up without a stable family. Anakin didn't have a father. He was raised by his mother, and at some point he left her behind with the promise that he would come back. Vergil did have a father, but he was never really there. What he had, just like Anakin, was a mother. And in both cases, that's what mattered the most. Anakin comes back too late. He finds her dying, and he's forced to watch her slip away right in front of him. That moment breaks something inside him.
I need to find Vergil. I promise I'll be back.
Vergil never even gets that closer. When the attack happens, he's alone. He calls for help, but no one comes. His mother dies while saving his brother, and from his perspective, he's the one who was left behind.
Vergil! Where are you, Vergil?
That's where everything starts to change, not because they lost someone, but because of how they react to that loss. From that point on, neither of them ever wants to feel powerless again. After that, they don't just deal with loss, they deal with attachment. Anakin holds on too tightly. What he feels turns into something he can't live without. It's not just love anymore, it's the fear of losing it, and that fear slowly starts to control him. Vergil goes in the opposite direction. He doesn't hold on to anything. He keeps his distance and acts like nothing can reach him. But that doesn't mean there was nothing there. We still see the result. A son. At some point, he lets someone get close, even if only briefly. That's the real difference between them. Anakin is consumed by attachment, while Vergil tries to reject it completely. But in the end, they're dealing with the same thing. They just don't understand it. Instead of facing what they feel, Anakin tries to control it, and Vergil tries to erase it. This is where both of them fully step into the dark. Anakin is already unstable by this point. He's broken the rules of the Jedi, and his fear of loss starts to control his decisions. Palpatine sees that and slowly pushes him further, using that fear to manipulate him. Anakin isn't chasing power for its own sake, he's trying to prevent something he feels he can stop. Vergil, on the other hand, goes straight for power. Driven by his fear of weakness, he chooses the opposite path of his father and opens a gateway to the demon world. But unlike Anakin, he doesn't even have a clear reason beyond becoming stronger. He's also being used, even if he doesn't fully realize it. Both of them are confronted by someone close. For Vergil, it's his brother Dante. For Anakin, it's his former mentor, a brother figure, Obi-Wan. Their final battles mirror each other in a very specific way. Vergil fights Dante at the edge between worlds, near a waterfall. The fight is intense, but in the end Dante wins. Even then, Vergil refuses to come back. He chooses to fall into the demon world, leaving behind both his brother and any chance of returning. Dante takes the sword Vergil used in that fight. Anakin's final fight with Obi-Wan happens in similar setting, not water but lava. It's the same idea, a point of no return. Obi-Wan defeats him, takes his weapon and leaves him behind, broken and burning. This is the moment where both characters lose what was left of them. Anakin is rebuilt as Darth Vader, fully committing to the dark side. Vergil ends up in a demon world where he's defeated again, this time by Mundus. His will is broken and he's turned into something else entirely, a servant stripped of his identity. In the end, both of them get what they were chasing, power, but not in the way they wanted, because by the time they reach it, it's no longer theirs. After their fall, both of them spent years trapped in what they've become. They are no longer who they used to be. They fight, serve, and keep moving forward, but as something else. At some point, both of them face their brother again. For Vergil, it's Dante. For Anakin, it's Obi-Wan. And in both cases, that connection isn't enough to bring them back. Vergil eventually breaks free from control, but nothing really changes. He still wants power, now even more than before, because he knows what it feels like to lose it. That's when he crosses another line. He takes back his sword from his own son without hesitation. Anakin follows a similar path. As Darth Vader, he hunts down what's left of his past, refusing to face it. When he meets his son, the first thing that happens is violence. He repeats the same pattern. But this is where things finally change, because this time it's not a brother standing in front of them, it's a son. And the son doesn't fight the same way. Nero doesn't try to defeat Vergil, he stops him. He forces him to face what he's running from. Luke does the same. He refuses to give in, even when he has every reason to. He doesn't become his father. And that's what finally breaks the cycle. That choice. In the end, both Vergil and Anakin make that choice. One steps back from the path he's been following for years, the other turns against everything he became. And for the first time, they're not chasing power anymore. When you look at their stories side by side, the similarities aren't really about powers, fights, or even their words. It all comes down to one thing: how they deal with weakness. Both of them were talented, both of them went through loss, and both of them reach a point where they refuse to ever feel powerless again. That's what pushed them forward, but it's also what led them down the same path. Anakin trying to control everything. Vergil tried to reject everything. Different approaches, but the same idea, that power could solve what they felt inside. And for a long time it worked, at least on the surface. But in the end, neither of them escaped the same problem. Because strength doesn't come from ignoring weakness, and it doesn't come from running away from it either. That's why, in the end, it's not power that changed them. It's the moment they finally stop fighting what they are. So maybe the real question isn't whether Darth Vader is like Vergil, it's how far someone is willing to go, just to never feel weak again. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe, follow this channel, because there will be more breakdowns like this. See ya!